is Thursday, August 14th. Is today the day that we start to see a little button hook on this market? Since April, you can see the chart. Since April, we've gone straight up. Algorithm got you out of a 22% gain. I said, don't get out. I don't think that we're done. All of a sudden, I was buying on this day, if you remember. Again, that's the thing. I was buying on this day. I didn't think we were done. Again, earnings have come in super strong. But today, we talked about the CPI on Tuesday. That came in light, showed that inflation may not be climbing into the system as much. And I said, wait, PPI is coming out. And this one, very well likely, was going to be higher. It came in super hot, crashed the markets down. The pre-market, we are down. Bonds moved up. You can see the headline, stock index futures fall sharply after PPI comes in hot. We're not down by 1%. We're not down by 2%. We are down by what? 0.32, 0.33. So don't let the headlines get at you. But here's what we see. If you go into Seeking Alpha and you look at the VIX, okay? The VIX is at 15. If you just look at a 5-day of the VIX, we've shot down. Where could we go? We could spike up to 16. That would be your UVIXY and XVIXY play. So UVIXY is a triple leverage DTF on the VIX. SVIXY is just the opposite. But if you think that the VIX is going to spike back up to this, then start playing those. The 10-year bond, we can go over to the market data and look at the bonds. The 10-year bond shot up. Let's look at the U.S. Treasury. Let's look at the 5-day. See, we're going up. It shot up. This is nothing that isn't expected, but here's the thing. The PPI coming in hotter than expected likely means that CPE, go and Google what CPE is. I don't even know what it is. I know it's consumer price something. But that's the Fed's favorite inflation gauge. Will likely go up because it's a mixture of PPI and CPI. I am not an expert on this. Understand, you may think I know what I'm talking about. I have no freaking clue. I am just here parroting what I have heard. But the cost of goods going up means inflation will go up. Now, we can hear from the administration that, yes, all of the it's not being paid by the American people because we haven't seen the cost go up. There are ways that it is being held down. But if those producers' prices are going up, it will have to be passed on to the consumers at some point. And when is that? Maybe this means that the September rate cut is out. Let's just go and look. Let me look it up. Let's see. Rate cut in September poly market. And we're just going to look that up. Let's look it up. We were at 90% before. Let's see. I don't see the percentage. You're getting a yes at 5.5, a no 94.1. Let's see. Poly market. There we go. Nah, I guess I know I saw the percentage here some point. Maybe I have to log in. I'm not logged in, but go and look it up. It could go up. I mean, that's the thing is Powell now has the ability to say, hey, we're not cutting rates. Last night, I went over. I realized I had never gone over and never written anything about this portfolio. I just kind of provided to the paid members. But the portfolio in Savvy Trader is up 11%. Plus, I did a bonus because I gave the paid newsletter. A friend emailed me yesterday and said, hey, what do you think of this one? I thought it was good. It's an energy stock. So I went over it. I went over my entire process of doing that. I found a strategy that I wanted and I put it out there for the paid members. Again, the newsletter. It's free normally. If you subscribe to the newsletter, most of these newsletters are free. But I do paid ones every now and then because the people that support me, I want to support them back. So I give them little bonuses. Okay? By the way, this morning in these numbers, the jobs numbers, you're not even seeing headlines about the jobs number. It was nothing shocking. The jobs market seems to be fine. The market reaction completely is based on the inflation data and are we getting a cut in September. So that video last night, by the way, for paid members, I went over the created portfolio back in January. It's up 11%. It's not quite alpha picks, but when I went over the 3 mistakes that I made, I realized I didn't put this in. I've been busy with my own portfolio over the last month. I've been doing a lot of work on my own portfolio. Just full disclosure. It's been my own portfolio. I'm not sharing a lot of that stuff, but I don't need to share because you guys should know from watching this podcast exactly what I'm doing. It's not like I'm hiding anything, but I gave the bonus energy name. Now, one thing I want to reiterate to everybody. I say this all the time, but the more you trade, the less your returns in the long run are. It's not just me saying that. This is actual fact. And Morningstar goes over it. And it's a PDF. I'm going to put the link in the newsletter for you to read it. It's a long freaking thing. So let me summarize this. The 1.2 percentage point between the actual market return and the return that you see in your portfolio happens because investors lose a portion of their funds' total returns because they go in and out of those funds during a 10-year horizon. Again, a 10-year horizon. So if you're just looking at a 10-year horizon on here and you're saying, okay, let me go back to 2015, your actual returns are less because you've been going in and out. In plain English, investors have poor timing. They buy high and sell low. That's not always right. But if you don't leave it in there, you are going to underperform because you trade too much. You chase performance. The takeaway, performance chasing destroys returns more than any single factor. It might just be 1%. But 1% over 10 years, that could be a life-changing amount of money. In addition to using broad low-cost index funds, investors should have long-term plan and stick to it. So when I say I buy QQQ on the 4-hour algorithm, and when I sell because I see like this April downturn and I trimmed some, I didn't trim some that I just bought in April. I trimmed some that I bought back here in 2021, that I bought back here in 2020. Now, is that right? Because maybe I'm underperforming because Morningstar says, hey, the 10-year, maybe I should have sold things that I bought back in 2015. But you need to follow Jack Boyle's rule. Don't just do something, stand there. I've gone over the past 2 weeks. I told you, dead people outperform living people in fidelity. I'm now telling you, Morningstar tells you with numbers. So that's part of the guidance of the rules-based portfolio of alpha picks. It's a long-term portfolio. It's not something that you get in and out of. And it's a rules-based portfolio. That's the key. Follow the rules. 90% of alpha picks have beaten Q2 earnings, vastly outperforming the 81% of the S&P so far. Again, 81% of the S&P is beating earnings per share. Positive earnings drove major portfolio gains this week, pushing the Alpha Picks portfolio past 200%. This is a screenshot of this performance. 193% versus 64%. That's just a screenshot from July 1st, 2022 to July 31st, 2025. But when you go in and you actually look at it, they are now up 200%. 8 alpha picks in the current portfolio have surged more than double digits. Notable standouts include BLBD, SSRM, which was just picked. We have surged 20% in the last week on earnings. Both of those have surged 20%. Alpha Picks portfolio is now beating the S&P by over 2 times across all time periods. So how do you get Alpha Picks? Well, you can get it on its own. It's a portfolio. Okay, you can save $50 by going over to Linktree right here. It's the 4th link. But what I want to show you is a way to actually get premium. Oh, let me get out of here. Hold on one second. I'm going to sign out. This is part of, me doing the live show instead of like being actually prepared. Oh, let me sign out. And then I'm going to show you the steps that you actually go through. You go over to here and you click on this link and you're going to get this page. You save $159. This is the bundle. You get both the premium, which I'm going to show you right now. Okay. I'm going to show you how I find stocks and where I look for them. Once I sign in, let me just sign in real quick. Log in. We're going to log in with the daily stock pick one, and we're there. Okay. So again, the premium and the alpha picks together, you save $159. We're going to get out of that alpha picks portfolio right there because you can't see that. VSAT. Okay. VSAT. I was sitting there. Part of the reason why I say get the bundle is because I'm just sitting there this morning trying to get ready for this podcast, and I'm scrolling down and I see this top stocks by market cap, okay? Small cap. And I see VStat. This is Viasat, okay? This is a satellite company that probably is competing with Rocket Labs, probably is competing with SpaceX. They're a public company, okay? My friend works for this company. And I was like, what the F are you not telling me? Because over 1 month, this is up 81%. I didn't even think of asking him how his company was doing. But now we're in a group chat. And after this podcast, I'm going to get in that group chat and I'm going to say, what the F? Why didn't I know about this? And blah, blah, blah. I already did this morning, but I'll see his response. 3.69%, 3.69 billion. It's got a short interest of 17%. Their earnings just were good. Again, 1 month, you're up 81%. Now take another tool and go over here to TrendSpider, okay? Viastat. Over 1 month, yeah, you're up 80%, but here's the killer. If you had seen this, if I'd seen this, hey, Gary, by the way, it's Black Gary. Is who works there because I'm white Gary, but Black Gary works there. And so Black Gary, we just went hiking up in South Carolina and he didn't say anything. I asked him about it. I said, how many satellites are you putting up there? You ever heard of Rocket Labs? What about SpaceX? And I was asking him and he's like, yeah, business is going okay. Boom. I should have bought it when we went hiking because $9.10, that's around where we went hiking. And it gave you a 60% gain. I didn't look at it. I didn't think about it. Now, had I known about this July 30th, just 2 weeks ago? Boom, you're up 82%. So the 4-hour algorithm. Again, the tools pay for themselves if you know what to look for. And last week, I brought up, let me bring up Viasat real quickly. Because when you look at the weekly, here's the killer. Is that this one has started to turn positive on the weekly. You have confirmation. And all of a sudden, you're back close to that 200-day. Now, the last 2 times you've hit that 200-day, you haven't been able to hold it. Over its history, this has not been able to hold the 200-day. So now we have to make sure that Viastat continues that way. Am I buying it right now? No. But it's now on my freaking watch list. Because it's space, it's a hot sector. I know somebody that works there. Not that he's giving me insider information. But again, it's just something where the tools help you. Now, I brought up GCT. Okay? This was an alpha pick. I went back. It was an alpha pick where the portfolio actually took a loss on this one. I went back and looked at my notes. This one, over 1 month, is up 60%. Okay, in the last 5 days, it's up 26%. I brought this up last week. And 4-hour algorithm. Let's just look at GCT. Because the last few times, let's see, 5% gain, 33% gain, 11% gain, has you back in at 28. Now you're up at 20% gain. That's pretty good. Okay? That's not bad. I went back and looked at my notes. It was removed from Alpha Picks based on the rule of it moving to a sell in the quant, and they remove it immediately. Why was it a sell? because there were a bunch of short reports that the company denied. And even AlphaPix went to the warehouse because it's in New Jersey and they investigated and they said, yeah, we don't see anything that these short reports actually say. So you have to understand this is a specialty business. It's got a market cap of $1.22 billion. Understand what you're trading in, but it's ranked number 1 out of 7 from distributors, okay? And it's moved up there. It might be a good buy. Wall Street, they've got 4 analysts that cover this. They think it's worth $36, which is a 10% upside. And you can get this analyzed with AI. So that's why I like the bundle, because I can do stuff like this. Okay? Now, Bullish is interesting because Bullish was the IPO yesterday. Did you trade it? It surged 84% in the first day of trading, but you weren't able to get the 84%. Most likely, you lost money if you traded it and then panicked. Let's just go look at a 5-minute chart of this one. You know what? We're going to look at a 1-minute chart. And we're going to look at some after hours because it opened up yesterday about 1 o'clock. And there you can see it. It popped. You never had a chance to get back if you bought right at the open because it was halted. And then it opened back up at 111, 112. You're trading today up 6% at 74. This is why I don't like IPOs. I didn't trade this one yesterday. I was looking at it. Once it priced, you know, if you got this in pre-market before it actually opened up to the public, that's where you got it at $37. It was priced at $30. They added more stock. This was crazy. So understand, there are ways to trade this stuff. And in the newsletter, down in this education section, you can find confirmation. Go and look for confirmation. That's how I would have traded this. But I didn't see any confirmation at all yesterday, and I still don't see it. So am I buying this one? No. The answer is absolutely no. Now, we have to know what the second half of this year is going to look like, okay? Dan Niles, he did a great job in the first half. He said, hey, in the first half, you want to be in cash. And then in April, when we hit that bottom, very close to that bottom, he said, you know what? Things are overdone. We need to get back in the market. He started back in the market. And what's he saying right now? He's saying, hey, the second half, my belief is there will be a 10 to 20% market correction starting near Thanksgiving. I believe that demand has been pulled forward as by many imports increasing 38% year over year. This was written yesterday. This was written before PPI. He's bullish until September. So you have, again, look at the charts. The charts tell you the story. Should we be bullish? Should we be pulling out? No. You pull out when you actually lose the confirmation, when you actually start going down. And we're down a little bit today, 0.48%. That's not a panic. But you're going to see headlines about PPI and inflation and blah, blah, blah. You're going to see headlines. Panicking is not a strategy. So read some experts, see what you think, and then make your decision. That's as simple as it can get. Now, Apple, this is my number one holding by large amount. This one has seen a great few weeks. Still not up year to date. Apple plans to release slate of new AI-powered products. I was on Spaces yesterday. Everybody's making fun of me for holding Apple. Part of it because they announced that they're going to release a robotic tabletop arm, and nobody could figure out a use for it. Nobody could figure out a freaking use for an iPad either when that came out. And everybody said, you know what? Wireless earphones? Why are they making wireless earphones? Apple does things you don't understand until it actually comes out and they figure out that, yes, you want them. The watch, I didn't want a freaking Apple Watch. I said, why would I wear an Apple Watch? A regular watch is just fine. Then I got an Apple Watch. I can't live without my Apple Watch. And Apple has been doing great. Now, it's still an expensive stock. Over 1 month, One of the largest stocks in the market is up 12%. Guess what's carrying this market? It's one of the large caps. It's this one. Look at that move. That's just since August 5th. I said at $200, this was a great buy. If you get back down to $200 on Apple, it's still a good buy. 2 billion handsets. That's all I have to say. All they have to do is get AI right. Now, it's near the average target price from Wall Street. So sorry about that. You couldn't see it. I had to pause the recording. But again, Apple 234. It's very close to it. Do you want to buy it here? Well, let's check the 4-hour algorithm. Does the 4-hour algorithm have you in? And it does. It got you in at 218. It's a nice little move in a stock that I still commit is the best risk reward in this market when you get down there. That's a nice 7-8% move. Again, using that 200 as the line. If you get it below 200, it's great. If you get it above 200, you can sell it if you want. Just have to make your determination. Now, here's Tim, Stock Talk. Okay, I like Tim. Tim is great. Tim does a great job on his analysis. Yes, he comes from TikTok, but he has a system and it is rock solid. And he's saying in this one, by the way, one of the stocks that he mentions is Lemonade. He's been in Lemonade for a few weeks now. And boy, this has paid off. Man, I think he got into Lemonade around here in June at 34. You're at $59 right now. 59 to 56 in pre-market is down 5%. Again, risk assets today, they will be taking a break. But look at the 4-hour algorithm up 25%. Again, Tim is great. Do I expect to invest in Lemonade? No. But his strategy is sound. And that's the key. He's got a strategy, he's got a plan, and he sticks to it. And it's worked. This has 23% short interest. Is it a short squeeze? Probably. Because the valuation makes no sense to me because they're not making money. But their growth is phenomenal. Phenomenal. Revenue growth going forward expected to grow 39%. You add that to a 23% short interest where they have to cover, you're going to get some moves in this one. And so TrendSpider is saying, hey, is this the hottest stock chart out there right now? Cup and handle. Could be. Could be. Again, if you're trading technicals, this is a good one. Now, I want to show you, if you believe that charts aren't good, I want to show you something real quick. Because these two yellow lines, okay, this is Walmart. And these two yellow lines represent previous all-time highs. And we can go to a weekly right here, and you can see weekly right here. If you see the 105 right here, 105.24, and then it goes down here to 91, and we'll go back to the 4-hour, and we'll pull this back a little bit so you can see it. There's the previous 91, okay, $96, where it was an all-time high, pulled back. This 105, all-time high, pulled back. Did it use this as support? No. But here you're seeing it use that 96 as support. Now, what are you seeing here? 105 on Walmart is a clear double top. Clear double top. So what are you going to try and use as your support? If you want Walmart, again, if we're going into a recession, this is a great stock to have. People will still buy their groceries from Walmart. They will still go to Walmart for goods. And this is a clear price range. Understand what you're trying to get into. Walmart is better than Costco, even though the two of them are both in retail. Okay? Costco, when you look at the peers, I think Walmart's in there. Yeah. Costco and Walmart Mexico. I guess you could to say that. Target. But when you go and you look at the valuation, okay, Costco is trading 51 times forward earnings, full year earnings. Walmart is trading at 38, Target's at 14, but Target's not growing. And that's the thing. Walmart is growing by 4%, Costco is growing by 6%. You're going to get that higher valuation based on the growth. But I like this range with Walmart. I own Walmart. I will start adding to Walmart when it gets back down to 95, 96. I like that proposition. Is it expensive? A little bit, but not as much as Costco. And Costco is traded similarly, but remember, Costco's a different business model. Costco is based on the membership fees. They charge a little bit, they get a little bit of margin on their stuff, but it's membership fees. And we don't have a clear top here. We have a double top, probably around 1,100, 1,050, somewhere in that neighborhood. But you can see the same kind of thing. We've broken down from that trend. Where was that trend? That trend was this weekly trend. We've broken down, we've traded sideways. So to get back to this, we're now at the 50-day. The last time this one traded at the 50-day, pretty damn good buys right here in 2023. So again, know what you're trading, know what you're buying. Now this one, it flew yesterday, up 556%. BSLK. Say you were in the market and you were saying, okay, BSLK. Say you were in the market and you wanted to know, I want something to trade on a 5-minute chart and I want to see something. Well, let's look. You had the opportunity. And again, I in the paid newsletter, you can just look for confirmation and I teach you how to trade like this. So right here at $3.96, you could have gotten this with confirmation, trade this on 5-minute candle. And when you lose confirmation, that's a 250% gain in 4 hours. Am I telling you, go out and put your entire portfolio into BSLK? No. It's got a market cap of $29 million. Yesterday, it traded 1.6 million shares. 1.6 million shares. And I want to show you shares outstanding. There's only 2 million shares, 1.37 million shares floated. This was a crazy stock yesterday. Sometimes you find stuff like this. This is what I would call an A+ setup, where it was set up for you and it was basically handed to you on a platter. Now, I wasn't watching this. I saw this after hours. That's it. I mean, I'm just bringing this up as an example of what you can do in the market when you have charts, when you have tools, when you have things like that. Amit is investing on Twitter. I changed the screen. I can't confirm this. Goldman Sachs put out a note to their clients today and told them to buy calls on the following names: Palantir, AMD, UPS, Warner Brothers, Digital, and EA Sports. The firm says we see potential for elevated upside asymmetry in stocks with high retail participation. I can't confirm it, but Amit is pretty damn good. And here's one of the things that I want to warn you about before doing your due diligence on stuff. Okay? This is Instagram. This is Josh Brown on Instagram talking about a stock called Paramount Skydance. This is literally the day before. And if we just look up Paramount Skydance, there we go. PSKY. It popped yesterday, 30%. Okay, 30% it was up. This is a shitco company. This is not something that should pop 30%, but it did. And he says, we talked about the new Paramount Skydance stock yesterday. I had no idea it would be up 45% today. I'm an idiot talking about it when I should have been buying it. Live and learn. Even the best influencers, even the best investors out there, we all get things wrong. They were talking about it being a shitty stock. Well, it wasn't a shitty stock. It was up, 45% in a day. So again, understand. And by the way, my apologies about the video with BSLK not being on the screen, but there's the chart that I was talking about with confirmation. And you can see it, but the screen just, it blacked out. So if you have any questions, again, everything's on Linktree. I do suggest you get this bundle. As we start going into a turn down, you are going to want to know what you own. Find tools that tell you what you own, which stocks are good, which stocks are bad. Find a chart that outlines to you which stocks are good, which stocks are bad. I will tell you, everybody says Apple is a shit stock. Look at this weekly chart. Okay, the MACD just reset. The RSI just reset. We went back down in April to the 200-day. In April, you were trading at 169. Today, you're at 233. That for risk reward is pretty damn good. Yes, tariffs were going to hit this. Yes, tariffs are probably going to, again, take a chunk out of this. Yes, Tim Cook has to kiss the ring. Still a pretty damn good stock. I'm happy being invested in it. We talked about Disney. Disney in the scans in the 4-hour algorithm. This one just gave you a 116. Do we get back? Is this the start of this move back up above 120? Because 120 has been a long-term resistance. Once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6 times it's gotten up there and pulled back. 6 times. And that's just since 2022, 3 years. 6 times it's been up there and pulled back. Now, all the scans are going to be available in the newsletter. So if you go to the newsletter and you just scroll to the bottom, we're going to take this out. Pause that one. Scroll to the bottom. You will see a list of scans. What do those scans tell you? These are the entries in the 4-hour algorithm that day. Okay, we've got Disney, we've got Exxon, we have VNQ. I scanned for you. We've even got one today that I think is kind of interesting, and we talked about it this week. Workday. Workday is one that got killed on earnings. Okay? 4-hour algorithm makes you 22% over the last 24 months. If you just bought and held, you're down 4%. We've got an earnings gap from the last time this one happened. Or I'm sorry, software. This is software. I'm thinking Workday. I'm thinking Monday. But this is Workday. Workday, the gap from the last earnings up here to 271. August 21st is their earnings. We just got another buy in this one. Now you win 43% of the time. You've had some losers here. We are in a clear downward trend. Now, if you're going to trend down towards that, let's look at the 4-hour again. If you're going to clear in that downward trend and you draw a trend line here, is this trend line still it? Well, this was the resistance right there. You can see how it held up as support. If we get down there again, where is that level? That level is probably about 200. You're at 222. So I would say you're risking 10% because you want to put your stop loss at 200. You're risking 10% to get 25 for that gap fill. That's what you're risking. Understand your risk reward, understand how to look at charts, understand how to look at these stocks. And again, I just put this out there for you. This podcast is all about my portfolio and things that I see. I've rebalanced. I'm not doing much of anything today other than if we dip down even more, which by the way, we're coming back. I talk about confirmation all the time. Okay. We're starting to come back. The reaction to this PPI number, maybe an overreaction. Maybe we start going up again. You can see how yesterday came down here. Now today, we're kind of moving up. So if you have any questions, hit me up. Everything's on Linktree. I will talk to you tomorrow. Say bye.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell.